right, everybody, welcome to this edition of the Buk Talk Radio Show, brought to you in part by our good friends out at Woodhaven Custom Calls. Their deer grunts are better than anything you've ever held in your hand. Got a little Woodhaven and I don't know why people are calling me during the show. I don't know what's going on with that. So that's all right. We got a fun show for you tonight. Thanks for everybody listening on the Outdoor Call Radio app. And we appreciate you each and every day that you do that. I just chimed on there a little bit and told everybody thank you for listening. And I asked them to do something. I was going to try and get them a nice little thank you for sure. Hey, we're going to have a fun show for you tonight. We're going to be talking about deer tracking. I've got Adam Craighead on from Legacy Tracking here in Iowa. And Adam reached out to me a few months ago. And I tell you, no matter where I'm traveling, filming Respect the Game TV or just doing radio shows, I always hear from people in deer camps about deer tracking and stuff. And a lot of folks have really taken notice to that. That's become a popular method all over the country as far as trying to recover your deer. And I think it's how do I want to say this? I think it's an admirable thing. I was always taught when your shot is done, and you're looking for your deer, your hunt is over until you find or recover your animal. And that's just the way I was raised, and I think that just falls right in line to what my dad, my grandfather, and my uncle were teaching me over there. Let's go say hi to Adam. Adam's over there on the monitor for me. Hi, Adam. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Are you doing good? How are things going today? Did you have a good day today?
I did.
You did?
Yep.
Where do you live at in Iowa?
I live in Des Moines, so just outside of central Des Moines area.
I got you. So what? Now you look like you're. I'm old, so you look like a younger feller than I. How long have you been doing? What got you into deer tracking with dogs?
Well, yeah, I'm only 23, and when I was in high school, I used to work as a kind of an apprentice / assistant to a guy who trained bird dogs. So I kind of got into dog work just earlier on, like 16, 17, 18, just fell in love with just training dogs to do stuff for hunting purposes and whatnot. And then a couple of years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, I had a really, really bad hunting season where I had shot multiple deer. Various things went wrong, and I just didn't recover any of them. And I was so torn up about it. I was about to honestly just be done bow hunting completely. Just because I was like, this is, unethical. There needs to be a solution to finding these deer. In the same time, I was talking about passing the law to enable tracking dogs. And so for me, it's kind of like a no-brainer. I was like, well, I knew I had a little experience with training dogs and kind of working dogs. And so I just kind of started training up the dog that I had and was able to start helping people recover deer and just kind of been at it ever since. So we've been training on it for the last 3 or 4 years and taking tracks as a business for about 2.5, 3 years now. So,
well, that's pretty cool. Now, how long does it take you to find a dog that's going to be where you know that they're going to take to tracking deer as far as picking up those glands and stuff like that? Hi, Larry Goodwin. Good to see you, buddy. How long does it take you to pick a pup out to do that, Adam?
Yeah, it's different. Obviously, different people have different opinions on what breeds work best and stuff. I actually started out with a miniature dachshund that was just a ARL rescue that was actually my wife's dog. And I had noticed that she would always, if a treat fell on the floor or something, she wouldn't run to it. Even though she could see it, she would go to where it hit the ground and she'd follow that scent to where it was. And I had picked up on this because I used to, do a little bird work and stuff. So I noticed her nose is pretty good. And so for her, I just started training her because she's what I had. I did some research and found out that miniature dachshunds are actually hunting dogs.
Yeah,
they're bred for badgers and stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say they're bred for hunting. Yeah.
Yep. And so that little 11, 12-pound miniature dachshund has recovered and tracked a lot of deer, which is hilarious. But I think that it's honestly probably less about the breed and probably more so just how many tracks you put them on. Like even training, you can do a lot of training with synthetic scents and doing hooves and stuff, but I personally don't do a ton of that just because there's no really better experience than just getting them on the tracks. So all my friends know, like, hey, when I get a new dog, because right now I have 3 dogs I used to alternate out, and all my friends know when I have a new dog, they're getting a lot of free tracks because I'm like, hey, if you shoot something and you see it go down, I need to track that because that's the way I can get that positive reinforcement for the dog and make sure that they're learning well as we start out their tracking career.
So I don't know if a lot of folks, I think most folks do know that it's not so much the blood from the deer. It's actually a scent from the hoof. There's a gland in their hoofs that when they get hit, that emits that's where they get the scent coming out of their hooves, right? And each deer,
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Each deer has a specific scent, or an individual scent. So even if there's like 2 or 3 deer in that group, when you shoot, the dog's going to know which one's hit, correct?
Yep, no, that's right. They track typically. Yeah, the whole blood tracking is kind of kind of an illusion, because sometimes there's a lot of tracks to go and there's a lot of blood that's not a dead deer. And
right.
So a lot of times the dogs are not. They're always pretty much not tracking the blood. They're tracking exactly that hormone that they put off when they are fatally wounded. The reason I say it that way is because my dogs, my more experienced dog, she can start on a track within 300 to 500 yards. She will almost always tell me if the deer is still alive, because she can tell how much percentage of that hormone and scent is being released. And she's figured out when it's this level that we find the deer dead. When it's this level, it's too low, and a lot of times we never find the deer. And so they will piece that together, and they also will track adrenaline that gets put off in there too. And so sometimes you'll see if someone shoots at like a buck that has a lot of does around him in a field. Sometimes those tracks are really hard to get rolling, because when the shot goes off, all the deer put off adrenaline, but only one deer will continue to put off that wounded hormone. And so it's kind of them narrowing down that. But
sorry to interrupt. I didn't mean to step on you. Back off your mic just a hair.
Okay.
Push your mic. Push your mic up a little bit. There you go. Now say something.
How's that? Is that better?
You're getting. I don't know what that is.
Turn
the level down maybe just a hair. It's on your end. You have a volume control on your mic? Or I'm hearing something rubbing.
Let's see here.
Sorry, folks. Live radio. You got to love it. That's all right. We've always had stuff. I can
back up. Is that better?
That's way better. Yeah, just do right there for me.
Okay, I was probably too close. I'll just too close. There you go.
No, you're good. You're good. No, a lot of folks. I was in Kansas 2 years ago, and I actually had the deer turn out on my shot. It would have been my best whitetail in 35 years of hunting. And right before the arrow hit the deer, it was a quartering away shot. He turned and whirled out of it, and instead of going into the cavity, I went inside the brisket. Now, when he ran off, it looked like my arrow was right behind the shoulder in the cavity. So we looked at the footage, and we went back to camp, and I looked at the video, and it was cold that night. And I said, well, let's just let him go, let him bed up, because you don't want to push deer. And we'll go look in the morning. And we never found him. But I went into the briskets. What happened?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get him. But we were trying to get some folks to come out, because we looked for two and a half days for that buck, and then he came back on camera like a month later. Donovan got him back on camera out of Kansas. But yeah, I mean, to me, I can't sleep if I shoot something and if I don't see it go down, or if I know that animal's still possibly there. I don't want the yotes getting to him, and I just can't sleep. I'm worthless. I'm up all night, But I learned a long time ago, when in doubt, back out. Because if you get in there and you don't have a really good heart shot or double lung, a deer can live on one lung. They're resilient animals.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure you don't
Absolutely.
push that deer, because if they get any adrenaline kick, I mean, they're a mile or two down the road. It doesn't take them long to move.
Mm-hmm.
So just always remember that, folks. When in doubt, back out. That's a great motto to have when you're deer hunting.
Yep. No, and that's kind of the some people, they don't follow that because of the whole idea of different trackers cost different amounts of money. Like I don't track for free because I have a wife and kids, and for me to do it justify it, I have to charge. And some people would rather just go look to see, because sometimes if you do just back out, he is 300 yards away, hidden somewhere. So it's kind of that risk versus reward. Thing is though, if you don't back out, and maybe sometimes on the very rare occasion you might end up finding him and saving yourself some money, but majority of the time you're not going to find him, you're going to bump him. And that's when it's going to cause more damage. And it's like, people don't think, I think sometimes about too, when the deer get up and get moving, it's not just that they're going to go a long ways, but then the more they move, the more scent they're putting down for coyotes to also pick up. If my dog's picking up on that wounded scent, so is every coyote in the area. And a lot of times I notice like a one long hit, it seems like I'll find tons and tons of coyote scat. And it seems like the coyotes will get on them, just keep running them. Because eventually they can catch them, or they just, eventually they outdo them. But
that's a great point. I don't think I ever thought about that. I mean, yeah, if your dog's tracking them, the predators are out there doing it too. So that's a great point. And listen, we all, we all as hunters want to take the best shots we can. We want to humanely put that animal down as quick as we can. We want to make sure that animal expires. There's not all that adrenaline in the meat. You want to be able to field dress that deer, get it cooled down. For the table fare. I don't shoot anything unless I'm going to eat it. So that all goes in. I had somebody tell me a long time ago. I tried deer meat one time, and I just didn't care for it. It didn't taste right. And I asked them, well, what happened? Tell me about your hunt. And they went out there, and it was warm, and they didn't get out there until the next day, and they recovered the deer. And the deer meat spoiled. You got to get out there and get that deer cooled. Get that it all. Your table fare always starts in the field. If you want the best tasting deer or elk or bear, mule deer, whitetail, whatever it is, you want to get that animal put down as fast as you can and get it field dressing clean, and then get it back to where you can process it and get it to the table. And if you do that, you're going to have some wonderful meals. And I hunt to eat. That's why I'm so chunky.
I mean, it tastes great. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's a very, very good point. And that sometimes people struggle when they call me. I would say one of the biggest things that shocks people is how long I'll tell them to wait for various shots and various hits. And I think people just don't realize how many phone calls we're fielding a day during season to see the end results and to monitor it all. But the reason we say that a lot of times is we're getting you probably within 2 to 3 hours of when it's going to actually die, just based on our experience of going and tracking, every individual hour up to the point. So if someone hits something like in a liver, I almost always will wait like 12 to 16 hours if it's a back pure liver hit with no gun on there. Yeah. Because I've tracked them at 10 hours and bumped them. Yeah. And so I've just learned from experience that depending on, every scenario is different. Every situation is different. There's so many variables. It's just, we basically play a game of guessing, and the highest percentage is what we're going to make the call on, But a lot of times we've worked up those tracks already, and we've done those experiences where we've bumped them. So I think a lot of people have a hard time waiting because they want to get to it right away. But a lot of times if we're telling you to wait for a certain time, it's probably because your deer's not dead yet. And that causes a lot of issues.
Yeah, we'll talk about some of the shooting scenarios here in a little bit. But you listen. If you, I'm just telling you right now. If you don't see that deer go down, I learned a long time ago when I'm filming the TV show. When I would shoot a deer, 90% of the time I'm self-filming for the show. So I'm camera guy first, and then bow hunter second. And then, but if I didn't see that deer down, what I would always do is I would do my cutaways, I would do my recreates, would do everything I needed to do in the tree, and then I'd film me getting down, and then I'd go find first blood, and I'd look at it, and I'd look at the arrow, I'd look at the blood, and if I didn't see that deer, I always wait an hour before I actually go look. By the time I get all my stuff done, it's within about an hour. And by then, if you've got a good hit on a deer, you're going to find that deer within 150 yards or less. You just are.
Exactly.
Yep. But I'm just telling you, they're just amazing animals. And, it's really important that you recover your arrow if you're bow hunting. If you're muzzleloader hunting or shotgun hunting, you're going to see that animal's reaction a lot quicker than you will with a bow shot, I would imagine. I'm spitballing that out, Adam, but I would think you would. So, Rupert's Roost and Peace Turkey calls on break. Just wanted to say hi and tell you hi both. Well, there you go, there, big Sasquatch. That's my buddy in Pennsylvania. He's a mess. So, but I just that's what I call him, the Pennsylvania Squatch. Him and Rob Warwick. There's another. They do a show called the Keystone Experience, and I call him the Pennsylvania Squatch too. So I can't really say what it is on radio because it's a different name. I can't say that on radio.
Yeah.
There we go. 5:14 and some change. It's the Buk Talk Radio. I appreciate everybody. It's been brought to you today by our good friends out at Norlander Sock Company at Woodhaven Custom Deer Calls. We've also got the fine folks at Flex Fletch, Sportsman's Warehouse, Diamond D Outdoors, Winsent. All those fine people are helping me bring the show to you today. Adam, I tell you what, I'm going to take just a real quick break. Can you hang on for me?
Sounds good.
Okay, I'm going to mute your mic, so don't panic. You'll still see me. We'll be right back after fine words. Isn't it nice having the guest on the live streams now? Isn't it nice instead of just looking at me all the time? I get sick of looking at me. We'll be right back on the Outdoor Call Radio. Hang on here. All right.
We are a full-service gun shop that specializes in helping you find the right firearm for your needs. We carry new and used firearms for all shooting disciplines, from self-defense to shooting enthusiasts, as well as folks who like to hunt. We have recently expanded our store to better serve your needs. We still accept trades on all types of guns, but we'll also look at any firearm you might wish to sell or put on consignment. JLM Shooter Supply carries firearms to meet any budget, and we can even special order items for those who like to add higher-end guns to their collection. JLM also has a full-time gunsmith on board that can help with all your gun repair needs. So from ammo, protection, to gun cleaning kits, holsters, and sights, we handle it all at JLM Shooter Supply in Urbandale. Please stop by and see us at 6931 Douglas Avenue in Urbandale, or call us at 515-331-1577. That's 515-331-1577.
OnX Hunt helps hunters be more successful in the field each season, with maps of all public and private land and a fully functional GPS without service. The app, trusted by over 6 million users, has just released a bunch of new features to help you on your next hunt. New aerial imagery options like leaf off, recent imagery updated every 2 weeks with historic look back, and imagery on demand. On top of that, OnX is reinventing the trail camera market by syncing your hunt app with multiple cell camera manufacturers and helping to organize and analyze your photos. You can also now view your maps in Dash when driving to your next hunting location. These are just a few of the many updates OnX has for this hunting season. Try OnX Hunt free for 7 days or go to onxmaps.com/hunt and use code X for 20% off your new OnX Hunt membership. Try OnX Hunt free for 7 days or go to onxmaps.com/hunt and use code X for 20% off your new OnX Hunt membership.
In these times when a lot of us are working from home, it's even more important to make sure your home is the right temperature and comfortable. Now is a great time to call the experts at Wyckoff Heating and Cooling at 287-6000 to schedule a check on your current heating and cooling systems. Is your house too dry and giving your family issues? A Honeywell dehumidifier system installed with your AC heating system can solve that issue right away. Wyckoff Heating and Cooling is a family-owned and operated business that has been serving Iowa residents and businesses for over 70 years. They offer 24-hour service and programs like the Peace of Mind Plan for less than $15 a month. So if you want more time on the water or in the woods this year, please call the folks at Wyckoff Heating and Cooling for any of your home or business heating and cooling needs. One call to Wyckoff Heating and Cooling will bring you peace of mind under your roof every day.
That big buck has eluded you for seasons. You see his scrape line, but just can't figure him out. Have you heard of Pure Whitetail? Pure Whitetail can help you see more deer and target that buck that haunts you. Pure Whitetail has some...
All right, welcome back to Buk Talk Radio. Hope everyone's having a good Wednesday all across the good U.S. of A. My guest is Mr. Adam, and we're talking to him about dog tracking from Legacy Tracking in Iowa. Adam, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
All right, we got everything there. Got to do the old commercial break for 4 minutes.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the shots. So hey, Kenny Cole, what did you say? No sound now. I didn't say anything. You can't hear me, Kenny? Can you hear me, Adam?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Kenny, get a hearing aid, man. I don't know what to tell you. That's crazy. I don't know. We got phone issues. Let's talk a little bit about shots. So if you got a deer out there and you got a broadside shot, yeah, that's probably the most preferred shit. That I don't know. Maybe. What's up, Nick? Good to see you. Thank you, buddy. I'm doing good. Thank you. I'm back. We want to make sure that a broadside shot is probably one of the highest percentage shots if you're bow hunting or rifle hunting or shotgunning. A quartering away is also a very high percentage shots. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I think that what I personally aim is I aim at the back third of the lung.
Yeah.
So that if I'm a little forward, if they jump it or something, I hit still front, middle, lung, but I'm plenty away from the shoulder blade. In worst case scenario, if they say they jump it before I shoot, I'm gonna hit lung liver, which is still gonna be a fatal hit. And with the tracking dog, liver hits are very coverable. I've been never intentionally aimed there, but that kind of middle to back third of the lungs for me seems to be a really safe spot that gives you plenty of buffer zone around there.
Yeah, absolutely. Broadside, you're going to see them usually go down within 100, 150 yards. Same thing with quarter. When I shot my deer in Kansas last year, that really nice 8-pointer, I shot him at 20 yards quartering away, and he didn't go 40 yards. I mean, I actually watched him roll. So, but quartering 2, depending on the angle of the deer, that's not the highest percentage shot. I actually got into an email. Hey, cut out during the last ad. Thank you, Kenny. I appreciate that. I actually got into an email. I'm going to call it a discussion. This guy, there was nothing I could say to make this guy agree with me. But he goes, a quartering 2 shot is a great shot to take. It depends how hard they're quartered to you. Because that to me that is definitely not quartering to me. He was saying front on with a bow. And I'm just telling you, folks.
Like a frontal.
Yeah, a frontal shot right below
okay.
And I told him, I said, listen, your ethics are your ethics, and I'm not gonna preach to you, but I'm just gonna tell you, I would never take that shot on a live animal. I don't care how big the deer was,
especially
how big.
Not from a tree stand.
no, yeah, or I just wouldn't do it because your margin of error is so slight on that front shot. I've passed on every one of those that I've ever had. To me, you're quartering away or your broadside, or maybe if it's slightly quartered to you, you want to aim a little bit more inside so you're catching that last part of the lung before you deliver. You really got to know your angles when you're shooting, Adam. Don't you agree?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, that's what I was just going to say is, to me as a tracker, just from a tractor perspective, what's really, really helpful is that you take good note. When you hang a tree stand, have a good idea of how high you are.
Yeah.
Have an idea of where when we get calls, a lot of times people want to tell me where they hit. And honestly, sometimes I'm less concerned about where you hit and how high were you. How low to the ground? Were you 10 yards or 10 feet or were you 25 feet? Because if you're 25 feet and you hit high, there's a really good chance you could have missed the front lung and just hit the one lung on the backside. But if you're only 10 feet high, you're going to have to hit both lungs. You know what I mean? So there's different scenarios where it's to me, the more it's a hunter, you can be very, very aware of all those little details and keep them in mind despite the drill and dump, that stuff's really, really, really important to tell them when we show up.
Yeah, and always mark your arrow. Mark where the deer went. I always keep some twist ties with me, some red twist ties or fluorescent ones. I mark where that deer went, and I always go to where the last time I saw the deer. I try to mark as much as I can. If I know I'm going to have to go call my buddies and help me come back and look for them. So, because things look totally different after the shot.
Yeah. Lots to say, too, from the tree. This isn't my idea, but I can't remember where I got it from. But if you're in the tree after you make a shot, take a picture from the tree stand of where you saw the deer run into. Because when you get down, it changes. Or by the time, a lot of times, especially early season, typically you're hunting evening times. So by the time I track it, it's going to be dark. So if you just have the ability to stand in a tree and look at that picture, you can kind of still, eyeball it. But then also, before you too far, something I thought of that I want to mention earlier when you talked about getting down and checking that first blood. One of the key mistakes that people make that can be easily averted is when you first start to look at that initial blood, just walk to the side of the blood trail. Typically, we go to one spot, and then from that spot, we walk directly to the next spot.
Yeah.
Well, you're picking up that scent, and when I show up to a track, 90% of the time, I can tell if they've started tracking it because my dog, I let her out, and she goes instantly to their boots. So they carried that scent just from stepping on it, the 20, 30 yards that they looked. So
try to stay off.
Side note, forget. Yeah, just you can blood trail the first 50 to 100 yards. That's really not a big deal, but just walk 2 or 3 feet to the side of it, and like look, you see your next drop ahead of you. Can go to the side of that? Just it's like a really easy thing that just makes it that much faster for the dog to take off in the beginning, which is like the most important section for the dog to really key in on. This is the exact scent I need to be pursuing. This is the exact scent that I'm looking for.
Okay, no, that's a great tip. That's a great tip. Listen, we all keep learning. I said,
yeah.
I'm so old now, I forget what I ate for breakfast in the mornings. But you can always learn new things. So that's always good to educate on that. So Adam, let's just talk about if someone calls you. Do you charge as far as how far you got to go? Is it a standard fee? What do you normally charge?
Yeah, so I'm just going to talk for me because everyone kind of does it differently. Some people do just tips. Some people do have a fixed rate. So what I do, I have a fixed fee, and that covers a distance of up to about an hour. If you're more than an hour drive, that's about when I'll compensate for the extra mileage I have to go. And then I charge different between buck and doe. And then I also have the different dogs to offer a variety of price ranges. So I have, like this year, I have a bloodhound puppy who's 6 months old. She's going to be obviously a lot cheaper than my really experienced dog. So it's good for people who beginning season shoot a doe. They're not real sure. They think there's a good chance she's probably still alive. They don't want to pay, $250 to bring the expert dog out. They can pay, $100 to $150 depending on where they live. We can come and, and train on that. And then it's that way I kind of offer an array for people.
No, I'm just asking. I'm just asking. So I'm always got questions. Why would it be cheap, more expensive? Why don't you just have a standard fee? Why would it matter if it's a doe or a buck?
I do it mostly because of narrowing down. Typically, I find so I charge for a buck in early season, charge $250. In most season, when it gets really busy, sometimes I go up to $300 just to narrow down who's really serious about it because it helps me have a higher recovery rate for the dog success, which is helpful. But I found if I charge for a buck, people won't pay it for a doe. So people cap out on what they'll pay to recover a doe. But obviously bucks they're willing to pay more, which I find kind of interesting. But
I was just curious. I want to find my deer. I don't care if it's a buck or a doe. But I get it. Some people, if it's they're probably sitting there going, "That's 150-inch deer." I hope they would. How do I say this nicely? I would hope they would have the same reverence for every animal, regardless of the tape measure. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, when I first started out, I kind of tried I'm not trying to take advantage of people. I was like, I'm going to see what this is worth to people and just increase the price. And I noticed that people capped out. Like, I can't usually get people to pay much more than $2 for a doe track. So usually I'm around 100 to 150.
No, that's all right. Well, listen, you're running a business. You don't apologize for running a business. You got your gas, and I just had to drive up to northern Minnesota up and back yesterday. I was in the truck for 13 and a half hours. If I could have charged what I wanted to on that one, that would have been $1,000.
Yeah, and people don't always think about and I got dog food, and these dogs for me aren't my pets. They are for the business. I have a couple dogs that I would not have gotten, and so it's I got to pay their food. Today I had a vet bill for $600. It's things like that'll add up.
Adam, you're not. Listen, my lab Raven. I bet you I've got $4,000 in that dog for going to the emergency room. Yep. I was hunting somewhere and he got stung by a bee, and Jenny had to rush him over to Westfield, the hospital, and I think that was $300. That stuff's not cheap. Trust me. I get it.
No, it's not. And I get it. And that's it. And my thing too is I'm a huge passionate bow hunter.
Yeah.
And my biggest thing was okay, my bow is $1,200 bow. I got binos that are $200 or $300. I got a release that's probably around $100. You got all your arrows in it. So for me, it's kind of I struggle with people who don't want to pay to recover a buck. So I'm
What do you
dropped
do?
a lot of money to shoot them.
Yeah. What do you do? What do you do when a guy calls you and says, "Listen, I just shot my dream deer. Can you please help me come and find it? I'll give you my bow." They got a $1,200 bow there. I mean, are you putting them on the priority list?
Nah, I gotta get a bow. I love my bow. I'm pretty faithful. I shot the same bow for like 8 or 9 years, and
Yeah, I'm just saying.
And
I would be.
Yeah.
I go. Well, it depends. I need some options.
No, that is kind of why I do charge more in November, because I get 15 to 20 calls a day, and so
Do you really?
it's really hard to. Oh yeah,
Wow.
yep.
Wow.
October. So basically, the breakdown is October 1st through October 15th. I get about 2 calls every other day or so, unless there's a cold front. Like this year, it's looking like it's gonna be pretty hot for opener, so it'll probably be slow.
Yeah.
It's very weather dependent. All the cold fronts, boom, I get a lot of calls. So I've learned to work my schedule around that. But yeah, no, it's pretty. In November, there's so many people that if I just took the dog on every track, I'd burn that dog out. Because if I take a dog on a track 8 times in a row and we don't recover a deer,
Well, they're wore out.
happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Exactly, and they're like, what's the point of this? And that's where you get a difference between different breeds, and that's why I have a hound, and I also have a German Shepherd. The German Shepherd's a working dog. She doesn't hunt. She's not there to hunt. She's there to please me, and so she's very, very effective on tracks that are more challenging. I can also use her to win stuff, so I can say it's been 60 hours since someone gut shoots a deer. It's been 60 hours. They know it died, but I wasn't able to get there in time. Sometimes if it's like a CRP field and there's a strong wind, I can run her downwind and we're able to search. And there's been one time that it worked that we actually were able to find the body of it, the carcass of it, just by doing an aerial, basically like a wind scent bumping type of idea.
Yeah.
But like the hound wouldn't do that. The hound needs a trail. So the hounds are great for the long stuff. So they all have different, capabilities and stuff. But
No, that's awesome. I'm glad we had you on there. Hey, Corey, watching from the blind, hoping this one will make it. Hoping the little one will make it happen. Good luck, Corey. I hope your Ute gets one too. That's awesome. So that's awesome. Thanks for everybody watching. Hey, I knew this was going to go quick, Adam. We'll get you back on again, and love to have to talk a little bit more. And don't take this the wrong way, but hopefully I don't have to call you for anything this year.
yeah, no, I always tell people, hey, I hope I don't have to see you again or see you at
Yeah,
all. But if you
yeah,
do,
I hope it's
don't be afraid
socially.
to give me a call.
Yeah, I hope it's socially. There you go. If someone wants to get a hold of you, how can they do that? If they need your services, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Mm-hmm. The best way is just to call me at 515-979-9106. Usually it'll go to voicemail because I get a lot of calls.
Yeah.
And it's easier sometimes for people to text me the details so I can save your name, get the details. So I have prompts in my voicemail. If you just follow those, it's really easy. Then I am on Instagram and Facebook at Legacy Deer Tracking. And
you got your phone number on your Facebook page?
Yep. My phone number's on all that stuff. And
okay.
Yep.
All right. That's awesome. All right, buddy. I got to tell you, that's an amazing thing. I want to thank you for coming on. Let me know how things are going, will you?
Yeah, we'll do.
All right.
Thanks for having me on.
No, it's my pleasure. We'll talk to you again before deer season's over, all right?
Sounds good.
Thank you. There he goes, Adam. There he goes, folks.
Bye.
Adam from Legacy Tracking. Thanks, Adam. We'll talk to you later. All right. There goes Adam. Nice guy, man. I tell you, I learned a lot there. Did you learn some stuff? I did. That was awesome. All right. So, the show's over already. Let me tell you, I got some homework to tell you about. Deer season's here. It starts October 1st. Late season split begins December 18th. So make sure you get all your tags and everything that you need. If you're going to be hunting on you know what? I forgot to do the Woodhaven custom calls. You make the call segment. So what's the best thing to do if you make a marginal shot? And I'll answer this one. It's when in doubt, back out. There's your Woodhaven custom calls. I make the call. I made the call today, so I forgot to ask him that. Shame on me. We got blabbing so long, I lost track of time there. So deer season's going on. If you're going to be hunting off the ground, the number one hunting related accident in the United States is people falling in and around tree stands. Also the most preventable. So please make sure you're wearing a full body harness. Got to make sure that you're staying connected to that tree all the time. It's very important that you do that. I've lost several friends over the years. I don't want to lose any more friends, or I don't want to hear about anything else happening to anybody. So please make sure you do that. Milo Locker's got some new flavors out: Philly cheesesteak, cranberry wild rice summer sausage. Ooh, that sounds good. Honey sriracha sticks, pizza burger patties. That's pretty good. Unknown Files will be on at 7 o'clock tonight. Last show of the season, and then Andrew's going to start doing some reruns for me. So if you missed Unknown Files, or if you haven't listened to it, that's our Bigfoot, UFO, and Ghost show. Tonight, we're going to be talking to the Illinois... George. We've been talking to... we're going to talk to the Illinois Paranormal Society. I think it's tonight. Cheryl's she was just here in Iowa at the Farrar School, so we're going to do a little ghost busting tonight, right back here at 7 o'clock. And she's a delightful person. She's fun to talk to. Soldier Boy Jerky, they're looking for you. Have you subscribed yet or gone online to soldierboyjerky.com? Get in there, check out how many bags you can order. You can choose what sizes, what flavors. They've got some really neat new windbreakers. They got a whole bunch of stuff there. And what's really nice about Soldier Boy Jerky is they help with a lot of veterans benefits, canine initiatives. They do a lot of things for our veterans, and they're veteran-owned as well. So check out Soldier Boy Jerky when you can. All right. Show is also a segment sponsor with respect to Game TV on the Sportsman Channel Pursuit. If you get a chance to watch Larry Mack or Paul or Ryan and I this year on TV, we'd love you to do that. We're going to hopefully have some good shows for you. Larry just got a really nice deer in Mississippi, and hopefully we'll have some stuff here in Iowa happening and Kansas. Got my Triple H hat on. Did you all see that? My Triple H hat. Donovan's giving us another deer hunt to give away next year. Isn't that exciting? I'm excited about that. We're going to have a Hunt of a Lifetime Take 2. Isn't that cool? All right, I got my Woodhaven Intimidator grunt call. I'm going to give a couple of these away on Saturday's show on 1350 ESPN. So make sure you tune in there. Best $20 you ever spent on Woodhaven Custom Calls, the Ninja Intimidator. They also have the Midwest Grunter out now, which is really cool. All right, I'm going to say goodbye to my Facebook audience. If you're on the app, don't go nowhere. I need to tell you something. Don't forget to listen to the app when you can. We got a lot of contests going on right now. Norlander Socks. If you buy a pair of Norlander Socks, go to norlandersocks.com. Those are those 100% alpaca socks. We wear them on the TV show. We promote them here on the radio. Use the code word OutdoorsDN10. You get 10% off. And then if you want to buy the boot inserts, which are really, really nice, especially if you're around cold weather, if you tell them you're an Outdoors Dan listener or the Outdoor Call or Respect the Game TV, they'll give you 50% off of those. Send me a shot of that order, and I'm going to put you in a couple of different contests that I got going on, okay? All right, I'm going to say goodnight to you guys. I will see you at 7 right back here on the live stream. Until then, go get some dinner and talk to the family. I'll see you in a little bit. All right.